Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Devil May Cry 4. Last time we fought the mother of all monsters, Echidna. And even though she escaped, we pulled a key item off of her tail called the Sephirotic Fruit. Which, as we found out, allows us to clear out those red glowing roots. We got another Scarecrow here, paired with, actually another two of them paired with a couple of Chimeras. We're not going to let them get infested, because that will just complicate life for the time being. So we're backtracking through the jungle to find places that we couldn't interact with before, since we have this new key item. Like these roots here, that cut the Lapis River in half. The area that this gets us back to is going to seem really familiar. It's this large area with the river cutting through it, with the bridge overhead. And if you remember, there were two sets of breakable panes of glass and some glowing red roots in the room just past the big fountain, so that's what we're ultimately trying to get back to. Man, I think this cutscene and this room in general, because of how the canopies of the trees are set up, is a really good showcase of how nice the lighting is. Ah, shit. These are assaults. Our proper introduction to the assault enemies. They are DMC4's take on Blades from Devil May Cry 1, which themselves, that is a fucked up sentence. No, that doesn't sound right. They themselves we're gonna be the Resident Evil 4 variations of the classic RE Hunter enemies. Assaults can get pretty nasty because they can attack you from pretty much anywhere, as you saw. They can attack you from the sky. They have like a spin dash out of the air. They can throw projectiles from a distance, much like Frost's, and you know how annoying Frost could get. And they can also get you from underground. So we recognize this room where we first found the gyro blade, so we know we're closing in on the place that we need to get to. The other thing about the assaults is they're also the only other enemy type that chimeras can infest. And if you let that happen, then life is going to get much, much harder for you. And so the room with the roots in it and the two panes of glass, just ahead, just in here. And they even tell you as soon as you come in here with the key item that the Sephirotic Fruit is reacting. So I don't think there are any chimeras in here. I don't see them, but there are a couple of assaults and a lot of scarecrows. And there are going to be more assault. Actually, no, I think we just started off with scarecrows. The assaults are going to be spawning in anytime now. There they are. Okay, so now we gotta be a little bit careful. These enemy types are quick. Ah, that delayed explosion on the level 3 charge shot is so good. Got a little max act going. Watch out for him. And they can block from the front and force you to circle around behind them. You won't even be able to snatch them while they're blocking like that. They're a little bit beefy too, like especially if you compare them to like the bog standard Scarecrow enemies. They can take some hits. Makes it really nice if you're trying to style on them though. If you're just trying to get that swag in. Combat Adjudicator for Dante. Once again, I'm pretty sure that we found more combat adjudicators for Dante than we have for Nero so far. What, we found 2 Nero ones and probably 3 or 4 for Dante. So finally, we get somewhere new, and if you notice, this place is called the Lost Woods. And this is going to give us a hint that we want to follow the light. So this is an area type that's been in a lot of Devil May Cry areas, a lot of Devil May Cry games. You want to follow the light, and the primary way that you do that is look at which way your shadow is being projected. If you go into the wrong spot, you have to start over and you have to fight an arena full of enemies. So we know that the light source is coming from this way because the shadow is behind us. If we run to the left. And you have to do that 3 times. We get out to the Forgotten Ruins and we're all good. So I think this is appropriate since Sega put up that 8-bit Bayonetta game on Steam, and now they're teasing a full release of the original Bayonetta on Steam. Hideki Kamiya, who created Devil May Cry 1 and Bayonetta, did not work on Devil May Cry 4, but he still used this game and its systems as a basis when working on the development of Bayonetta. And as an aside, if Bayo comes to Steam, the best part about this, I think, is that it opens the possibility of Vanquish coming to Steam as well, and I am way more excited about that, even though I love Bayonetta. Because while Bayonetta is going to benefit from having a higher resolution and slightly more stable frame rate, it was also already 60 FPS. It was 60 FPS with dips here and there, but still 60. Vanquish, on the other hand, ran at 30. And it dipped really frequently, so the prospect of Vanquish at a smooth 60? That's something I would kill for. Either way though, Bayonetta coming to Steam means more people get the opportunity to pick that up, as it will now be on 360, PS3, Wii U, and Steam. Never a bad thing. Never a bad thing to have more people being able to appreciate the king of the hill that is Bayonetta.
That's a look you shoot your enemy. Okay, well then let me ask you this. What exactly is the Order after? And who the hell is Dante? You do not demand answers from me!
You possess the power of a demon.
Back down. I don't want to hurt you. I won't do that to Kitty.
Hurt me? You don't get it, do you?
You too.
I have been chosen to take the next step in evolution. To become something far more than just human. I am an angel.
Wrong, Credo. All that you become is a demon.
As captain of the Holy Knights, you cannot rest. It's the wish of His Holiness.
This is our first fight with Credo. And if you're familiar with this genre with character action games, you know that these kind of humanoid enemies that resemble your character, that kind of behave in similar ways, they are usually the best kinds of fights. They are the truest one-on-one duels. And yeah, this is in fact my favorite fight in the whole game. I needed a few tries, I'll just get this out of the way, to remind myself of the timing of something here, because there's no chance I'm doing this LP and not nailing this one aspect of it. Oh, and here we go! Oh, yeah! That counterbuster is my everything. So I haven't been doing much counterbustering in the LP, but that one there was no way in hell I was not gonna nail that. And once you buster him enough times, you'll notice that his shield, which he's been using to block us really effectively, no longer glows. It becomes ineffective, which opens up the opportunity to Devil Trigger and do a triggered buster on him for a lot of damage. Plus, you get to spam the summon swords while you're in DT. Oh, Credo's the best!
Not yet! I'm not finished! Your strength is increased.
Kitty. No, wait. This isn't what you think.
Why? Why did you do this?
It was our intentions to protect you from the truth. Nero is a demon.
You son of a...
Nero!
Not to worry, I have no intentions of harming her. Yet. Though, it would appear your attachment extends beyond friendship.
She has nothing to do with this. Let her go!
Agnus! How dare you use my sister? This is my fight, and I will finish it. Let her go.
His Holiness predicted your defeat, and so ordered that your sister be utilized.
What?
If you want her, then come and get her, for I cannot guarantee her fate.
His Holiness. Use Kyrie.
Where's he taking her? Back to headquarters?
I'd assume so. Nero, we must set aside this battle until I find out the truth of this.
We get the Aegis Shield, which is a not too useful item. One attack that we did not get to see Credo do there is where he crowns you with golden swords, and it's a lot like Vergil or Nello Angelo's summoned swords. But I think we did not nearly get enough time out of just that one mission, so let's go into the next one. We just pick up right where we left off. I thought there might have been a cutscene to start this off. We are going to be introduced to a really cool new enemy type in this one. And it's going to happen in just a second as we approach the headquarters for the Order. Just this big monolithic slab of a building. Always screams evil. Or nefarious. Always love how new enemy types get their own proper cutscene introduction. These golden version of the Angelo enemies, flanked by 2 Bianco Angelos, these are called Alto Angelos. Oh, perfect. It's just that the one Bianco strayed a little bit too far after that. So the Alto Angelos are a much tougher version of Biancos. They can also command formations of Bianco Angelos. And sometimes, like you saw, they pull back to do that charged projectile that you can reflect back if your timing is right with either a charge shot or a buster. And it will immediately kill them and give you a triple S ranking. So yeah, Alto Angelos are pretty nifty in how you get to approach them. I think there is a hidden red orb cache up here, and there's also a fucking rarity, a Nero combat adjudicator over here. You can tell by the number of flames on it what ranking that you're gonna be required to hit in order to break it and get that blue orb fragment. In this case, we've gone through aside from this one, 2 combat adjudicators for Nero so far. They both required an A. This one's slightly different in that it requires a little bit more out of you. It requires you to hit an S rank. If that's your first time doing that combat adjudicator, you get a blue orb fragment, or if you've done it before, you get the red orbs. This room here, there appears to... whoops. So now we get this kind of Mission Impossible-esque laser room. All we have to do is hop up there. You don't really even have to risk getting touched by the lasers. At least not yet. God damn it. Every time with this fixed camera. So those lasers blocking the door appear to be moving way too quickly. Get another chance to fight some Alto Angelos. These are really good enemy types. I think prior to this LP, I didn't have as much of an oh, we're gonna do it again from close range this time. Yeah, I didn't have as much of an appreciation for Devil May Cry 4's enemy variety. I'm kind of gaining a newfound appreciation for it because they're really quite good. I would still contend that DMC4 has a couple of really weak boss fights, especially when you compare it to DMC3, but the enemy types are actually quite good. And varied, which is important. The Key of Cronus. This is a much more limited version of the Bangle of Time, or the Quicksilver ability from Devil May Cry 1 and 3, respectively. You stick it in those pedestals using the Buster to activate slow down time, which conveniently allows you to bypass the lasers blocking the door. Now we have one of these generators to rev up in order to bring the elevator down to us. Another Dante combat adjudicator. Yet another one. Of course, we got some elevator fights going here. We actually have a couple of these. We have one with just scarecrows, which is nice and simple to the point. We'll have a much more complicated one with frost, and I think we also have one with assaults somewhere later in the level. Still, being in a cramped space, with the way that these things can move around, you still have to be a little bit wary about them. Because they can go, like, somersaulting through the air. Actually, I'm a fan of fighting Frost in the elevator. Even though they'll spawn in like 4 of them, it limits the amount of space they have to attack you, which is nice. The thing that always gets me about Frosts is their ranged attacks whenever you're focusing on one of them. They try to attack me straight out of the elevator scene. Oh, yeah, it felt good. Oh, no, they're still gonna get one of them off. They do have enough room to use that. I need to learn to restrain myself from using some of those longer buster animations. The assaults also have a pretty long buster animation that can get you caught if there are more than one around. Let's just deal with this dude. I don't think another one spawned in behind me.
What'd you say?
If only we didn't take those 1 or 2 hits. Yeah, we got the same song and dance again. We're gonna have another pillar to activate the Cronus key. This time we have to bypass 2 sets of lasers. Oh, why can't I get in there? There's a little lip. And then that one with the 6 lasers. And we even get to use the effects of the Cronus key going into the elevator for this assault fight. Oh, it's so fun to use. Couldn't pull off anything fancier, unfortunately. Oh, we got a lot of assaults in this one, too. Oh, you son of a bitch! I hate the projectile attacks they do. Those and the ones in the Frost, they're the ones that consistently clip me. Rather than I let myself get hit by. And this is their buster animation. Like the Frost, when you're swinging them around, they will hit enemies nearby, so you can beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker. But you have to watch because it's a long animation. Oops. There is an opening in the elevator that I believe I missed. That would let you jump out and back down to one of the lower floors, but behind an area that you couldn't get to before to get the blue orb fragment, but it's not that big a deal.
So, you've come.
What have you done to Kyrie?
Why don't you check and find out? But don't expect me to be as easy on you as I was last time.
If I have to kill you to save Kyrie, that's wrong.
This is our round 2 with Agnes. Before we didn't fight him directly, we had that generator fight with him, which I think is way more interesting than this fight. I'll be honest, I don't really remember how this fight goes, aside from the fact that he has a life drain attack. Ah, there it is. That you can break out of with Devil Trigger, just like in previous games, and that he summons Cutlasses and Gladiuses. I really don't remember this fight very well. I always wind up just brute forcing it, because the only other thing I remember about it is just it being sort of boring and stale, especially after you just fight Credo in the previous mission. So I'll freely admit, this is my worst fight by far. It's the fight that I care the least about, and that I am consequently the worst at. What matters, though, is Credo went exactly how I wanted it to go, though. So I wonder if his fly form has anything to do with Beelzebub. Since this is like a vaguely Catholic cult with a lot of allusions to Catholicism. I was just thinking about how somebody told me in the God Hand comments a long time ago that the leader of the four Devas, who was named Beelzebub, turned into a fly demon because Beelzebub is known as the Lord of the Flies. So he slows down time a little bit there, but it doesn't last long enough for him to do a whole lot of damage to you. I think we can probably power through this. I feel like I'm relearning the fight every time that I fight him. Oh, I didn't nail him with the Gladius. Because really, his moveset, like, it isn't memorable to me, and I just wind up kind of autopiloting through this fight whenever I do him. So I never learned to fight him properly. Which I don't think is going to be any exception here. Oops. Oh yeah, he does the fireball thing when he summons the halo behind him. Now he's doing the power-up state again, which you can just hit him to interrupt him out of. Which is really not too bad to do. Try to just brute force him down with the devil trick. Oh yeah, he hasn't done this yet. The blade dance. Forgot about that as well. If you look at my health right now while I'm in Devil Trigger, you're gonna notice that I'm regenerating quite a bit through the DT. Didn't quite have the timing down on the iframes and the jump. So let's just try either table hopping or side rolling, just because. Oh, I love how slick the table hopper animation looks. It's something I forgot to mention about Credo, is it's the source of my favorite Devil May Cry 4 gif of dodging the spear throw 2 times with the table hopper, taunting, and then throwing the spear back on the 3rd one.
I will kill you. I will kill you.
Is that all you got? I think it's time to put you out of your misery.
That's enough, Argus. Go and prepare for attack.
Right away.
Okay, so that is going to do it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.